What's up guys, Volt here bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake, I'm bringing the 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback from Tokyo Drift. This car was a pretty highly requested car. A few people requested. I'll put those on screen right now so you guys can see them. So thank you very much for all the requests for this car. I know a lot of people did this car. I believe Just Jake did this one as well, and he redid his. He used a different car and then he changed it to this. But there's a few things that I feel like he missed that he could have done a little bit better, and I'll kind of go over a few things that I noticed in his video compared to what I'm going to say in this one. I'm not hating on the guy. I mean, he doesn't really know how to make cars personally. Like, I don't feel like he puts all the time and effort into building his cars like I do. I spend hours upon hours and sometimes even days upon days coming up with either a crew color or the design and just try to get it as perfect as possible. So as you can see, I had this in this beautiful, it's like Highland Green color that I came up with, and it looks just amazing. The pearlescent on it took me a while to figure out what I could use for it, but the one I came up with is pretty expensive. Hopefully you guys have it unlocked. I don't know if it is locked or not for most people, and it just looks amazing. This guy, I said I couldn't really like join him in his car group because I'm actually making a video, and he's been circling around me and everything for the past, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so. The base idea about this car is it was used in Tokyo Drift at the very end to race DK, or, you know, Takashi in his 350Z. This car was based pretty much from his dad. His dad actually bought it as, I would kind of like say, a shell, and he was kind of restoring it in his garage. Well, at the end of the movie, he didn't have a car to race DK, and he had to pretty much find a car. So he asked to see if he could get his dad's. He got his dad's, you know, kind of like shell husk type car. You know, it was pretty much empty, had no engine or anything. And what they did was they salvaged the engine from the S15 that was Han's. You know, the Mona Lisa is what people call it. The blue and the orange one, and it had, instead of it having like a V8 or even a V6 in here, it had an RB26 from the Silvia, which is pretty insane, and that's what really gave it that really iconic, you know, sound to it. Again, very requested car, very beautiful car too, easy, and it's fairly simple to build too. So there's a few things that people are probably gonna say down in the comment section down below. Oh, the Ellie is not the right car. Okay, if you want to go into Legendary Motorworks, you want to go down, and if you want to use a different option, another great option would be the Dubashi Rapid GT Classic, which is $885,000. It's going to be more money than the Vapid Ellie. Dude, seriously, calm down. See what I got to deal with, you guys? See what I got to deal with? It's going to be more money than the Vapid Ellie, but it is a viable option. It does probably have the mid-drive speed boost compared to the Ellie, which is actually flagged and can't really drift. I know, we're building a drift car, and it can't drift. Unfortunate. But if you want to actually get the Ellie, you want to go to Travel and Transport website, Southern San Andreas Super Autos, and you want to go down and find the Vapid Ellie, which is going to be $423,750 if you have the trade price, if you did the Diamond Casino heist with this vehicle as your escape vehicle. Or it's going to be $565,000, which is quite a bit. But if you're trying to build a car for a collection, or trying to build a car just for, you know, looks and keep in your garage and everything, and just drive it around every once in a while, show it off, I would say it's not a bad price. It's a lot cheaper than most, and it doesn't have too much customization, so you won't be spending too much money on it. Look at all these, oh, look at all these people. I told them I'm doing a freaking video, and yep, this is what happens. Anyway, let's go inside and customize the beauty. We'll get out of their hair, let them do their own thing. Hopefully they'll let me do my own thing as well. If not, you'll probably see me cut to another garage. But as you see in the Vapid Ellie, as we're pulling in, was in the muscle category. Pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, it is a muscle car. But in the movie, for Tokyo Drift, it turned into a hybrid, I would say, like a muscle tuner, if that makes sense. Or, yeah, muscle tuner, because it's mainly a muscle body with a tuner engine. Anyways, as I go over all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design, and the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. And they also go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in that you want to try to follow if you want to recreate and build the car from Tokyo Drift, or in my sense, build my kind of replica, I would say. So without further ado, let's get into the build. So what I want to first also say before I actually start the build is, I know Just Jake did a video on this as well. He did one on the Takashi Rapid GT, and then he also did one on this. Now, the main reason I chose the Vapid Ellie is because it has the kind of like side vents, and if you look at the car in the movie and the pictures I'm going to provide, you'll be able to see the side vents on the side. So to start things off, we're going to go to the front bumper. You just want to keep that stock. There's no splitters on the car, so you don't want to add a splitter to it. Just keep it nice and clean. From there, we move on to the exhaust. Now, the exhaust in the movie, he has a giant tuner exhaust on the driver's side rear, and unfortunately, we can't do that. So my best choice is to put on the stock exhaust with a custom hood. Now, the main reason for the stock exhaust is because it's giant exhaust. You can't really do anything else other than put it on the side or on the back. Best option is to put it on the back. So my choice for this build is actually to put on the stock exhaust and the custom hood. That makes it nice and smooth hood, kind of a little bit of a bulge, you can kind of see right there, but it's not like an actually hood scoop. And it also keeps the nice big bore exhaust on the back. After that, move on to the lights. Headlights, you just want to keep them stock. Guys, don't be putting xenons on this, please. It just ruins it. It really does. After that, move on to neon kits. There is no neon kit, so don't worry about adding that. Would have been kind of cool if it had like a green neon kit, even though in the movie it had like a color filter on it. So in the movie, the car actually looked more black, like this, than green. But I will try to show some pictures best I can for that. From there, we move on to the livery. It had that nice classic twin stripe white livery, like right there, that twin white stripe. And it also had it on the side. It kind of brought the car together, personally. If you just don't have one on it, it doesn't look great. So adding that nice bright white livery with that nice dark green color, oh, it's so beautiful. From there, we move on to the plate. You want to put on the blue and white 3. I think it's the best representation of the Japanese type plates because they're like pretty much just a solid color. Have a little bit of like Japanese type text on top, and then they have like a number. I just put my drift plate on. You can put whatever one you want on, a classic plate, you can put on the Tokyo plate, you can put on a drift plate, you can put on whatever kind of plate you want. Me personally, I just put my drift plate on. Same respray for last, we move on to the sun strips. The sun strip, you're just not going to put one on because it didn't have one. And it just kind of ruins it because it wouldn't be the same personally, I don't think. After that, move on to the suspension. I would keep it stock. I wouldn't lower it. If anything, and you want to lower it a little bit, would just take it down to the lowered suspension. I wouldn't go past that though, personally. It wasn't really lowered because it was still a muscle car. Yeah, I would definitely not lower it any more than lowered, if at all. But I'm not going to because I like saving money. After that, we move on to the turbo. Do make sure you guys put a turbo in because it did have a turbo, and I will show pictures. I think it was on the driver's side right front, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So again, I'll try to find some pictures to show you guys. After that, we move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go down to the sport category. You want to go to the chrome rims, and you want to put on the Duper 7. Now, I know I put these on the Eclipse, the Mitsubishi Eclipse from the very first Fast and Furious movie. But this type of rim actually fits the best personally because it has the same number of spokes, and they kind of look almost the same design-wise. After that, wheel color is chrome, so you don't have to worry about changing that. Moving on to tires, tire design, there's no custom tires, don't worry about adding those. Tire enhancements, you can add bulletproof tires on if you wish, more realistic if you don't. And tire smoke, white tire smoke. Last before the respray is windows. There was no window tint, it was a nice clean car, like it was a drift build. Alright, and I will see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. Now, as you can see, I have my car and my primered out rolled steel. Still a livery on, so you guys can see how it looks after it changes. And I'm really patting myself on the back for this one because this color is, I think, a first. I didn't think most people actually go into, I would say, like a classic because they're afraid to put a livery or a pearlescent over top of this car. Now, a dark green is a good option. It is a dark green, but it doesn't seem like it's dark enough, okay? And personally, if I were you, I would put a metallic on instead. Now you're probably thinking, why would I put a metallic on? Well, there's a few reasons, and a few reasons why this dark green actually looks pretty darn good as well. The main reason is if you put certain liveries with a pearlescent, it won't show up on the livery. You're probably wondering, how's that work? Well, let me show you what I mean. Okay, so again, if you guys can't do the custom crew color, this dark green, this metallic dark green is perfect. I don't really think the pearlescent really needs to change, but it's not dark enough in my personal opinion. When you go like this, you can still see the green. With my custom crew color, when you go like this, or if you go to a certain angle where you can't see the pearlescent, it looks more black, which in the movie, that's kind of what it looks like to me. So if we go into the custom crew color, I'll put the code on screen right now, the hex code, and then I will also put the RGB down in the description below. We add that, so boom, look at that. Now, at first glance, it does look black, but if you look closely, you will see that it is a really, really, really dark green. Especially if I come up here to this side, you can kind of see that up front right there. Again, it does look black. It does. But in certain lights, you can see the green shine through. So we're going to apply that. Now, again, another reason why I don't like the whole Just Jake fan club thing is because, like I said, he doesn't put enough time into his cars. He doesn't test things. He just builds them right off the bat. I like building cars, then showing you what I do. That way you guys don't waste money and say, oh, you know, this car's not right, or this not right, or something like that. So what I do is show you what I mean, what's right and what's wrong. So first off, as Just Jake said in his video, if you put a pearlescent over top this livery, it's going to shine through the livery. That's wrong. Certain liveries can actually have a pearlescent over top and it won't shine through. So this super bright livery, super bright white livery, as you can see, if I put a pearlescent on it, the car is the only thing that changes, not the livery. You do not see the livery shine through. Like, you do not see lime green shining through onto that livery. You're probably thinking, oh, that's just the front. Well, let's go to the side. Do you see the livery having any subtle hint of the pearlescent at all? No, you do not. So again, you just got to kind of play around with it, and that's what I do for most of my builds. So you're probably wondering, well, how do you get that nice, beautiful color you had outside? Well, the pearlescent you want to add is, like I said, an expensive one, but it is a racing green. And that gives it that nice dark green color. If you look in the certain light, it looks black. You go into certain light, it automatically changes to a nice dark green. A little bit of minty green here and there, but it has more like a minty green kind of feel to it personally, but I feel like this works amazingly. I've had a lot of compliments on it from, you know, just sitting in a lobby. So, and that's it, guys. That's how you recreate the 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback from Tokyo Drift that Sean drives. I think it turned out really nice. You guys have to let me know about the crew color, if it's too dark, if you think it doesn't work right. Again, another good option is metallic green. Don't be afraid to put metallics over top of liveries, because again, some of them do shine through. Like if it's on the side, like the Supra and the Eclipse and all that, they do shine through, so you gotta be careful of those. But certain ones like these, some of them don't shine through. So like I said, you just gotta, I would say experiment yourself, but if you want to do that, you have to have a little bit of money to do so. And most people are just kind of watching these videos and building these cars as I build them, so they don't have to worry about wasting the money and testing things themselves, which I don't blame you. I mean, money is hard to come by in this game unless you glitch it or something like that. So let's go outside. You'll see this thing in the dark, and then you'll see why the pearlescent actually enhances the crew color. So if you look in the dark, it looks black. Doesn't it look black? Certain lights, you know, certain little bit of light shining on it, you can see the green. But like from this angle, it looks black. So if we pull into the light is what gives it that nice green shine and a little bit of like a minty green pearlescent to it, especially in the sunlight. In lighting like this, not so much. But overall, I think it looks great. You guys will have to let me know. I mean, like I said, I try to come up with custom crew colors if I can. Sometimes LSC colors do work really well. And again, if you can't afford the crew color, or don't want to make it your crew color, or don't want to join the crew to make it your crew color, then just use the LSC metallic dark green. That's a very, very viable option. And maybe play around with the pearlescent if you really want to, but I think the pearlescent's pretty decent. So, as always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment down in the comment section for what car you want me to build next, or, look at, or maybe even try. And, yeah, I think that's going to pretty much be it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.